Two terms to the provisional return. One was that you had the letter.
Right.
So when students are provided with a letter from the health department, that is what they take to the school, and then school personnel know that student may return to school.
Correct.
Right. The other thing was that the term that the health department used was mandatory counseling, which is really instruction.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Can you talk about that? What do those instructions include?
Those instructions are going to include the nature of that provisional guidance. That on this date, you go back for classroom instruction. You continue to use masks, as always. Continue to social distance at school as much as possible, and after school as well, because you're still actually still considered a contact at that point. So what we're going to ask you as a parent to do is to make sure that your student is being with focused intent as a family and as a individual student to continue to wear that mask religiously, to continue to social distance, to continue to avoid crowds as much as possible, and those kinds of things. And that the second date on your letter is when at school you may participate in those other things.
Okay, very good. So just to be clear, because I think there were some concerns from families, the mandatory counseling is not mental health counseling.
That's
it
correct.
is the special instructions you are going to give parents and guardians and students
Exactly.
on what to do when that student returns to campus.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's instruction regarding the new guidance, basically.
Thank you.
That's it.
Ma'am,
I'm here about the mask mandates again, and we had a health person here, and they're unelected officials, and I can see here that we got this game going on because y'all are the ones in charge, not them. And you say, well, it's their recommendation, so they can say, oh, we just made a recommendation. There's no accountability there. The accountability is going to fall with y'all, and y'all can't just point to them who have no accountability and say, hey, it's just a recommendation. And your recommendations are asinine, because it's asinine to go quarantining people who are not even sick. That's just insanity. And the word mandate, so mandate means you're not getting consent. So when you go for mandates, that means, hey, we're not going to get your consent. We're going to take dictatorial powers over you and your children and over your family. And that's what y'all are doing here. This is dictatorial. This is lack of consent. So when you see that word mandate, we know, hey, you're not getting consent. You're going to mandate it. So even the mandated testing, mandated tracking, this contact tracing is proved to be a complete farce. It's not proved there's no documentation that, hey, we've done this, we're tracing everybody, and we're gonna take these people and we're gonna trace them around, and we're gonna do this and this. And this is what y'all are doing with everybody. And it creates a bunch of fear. Nobody wants to be around anybody. And it has zero evidence proved. And like that woman said, she got up here and said, wear your mask religiously, because it is a religion. This is a religious exercise, and it's got, this is not what we should be doing. I'm a little upset. A lot of parents are upset. But this falls on y'all. Y'all need to vote on this. Don't pass the buck. You know, Hitler had his health officials too, who said, hey, that's okay, we're going to do this and that, and they could point to them, and they could point to them. And the Nuremberg trials brought this kind of stuff out. But when you're stepping on people's rights like this and saying, hey, we're going to force a mask, hey, we're going to force this, and mandate, that word, and this is coming down the road, I'll go ahead and tell you, a mandated vaccine. So where are y'all going to stand on that? Are the parents going to send their kids to school one day and find out, hey, we implemented a mandated vaccine. They said we needed to do it, and we didn't get your consent. So y'all are not erring on the side of caution here. Y'all are just pointing to them, and they're pointing to them, and there's no accountability. So the accountability is going to rest with y'all. Y'all need to vote on this stuff, and y'all need to take accountability for these children, because you can't point to these people. They say one thing one day and another thing another day, and they're not part of the Constitution. The CDC is not part of the Constitution, and these people have financial benefits through manufacturers of vaccines and all this kind of stuff. So you can't just take what they say as the law. That's not the law. And I'm a little upset today, as you can see. But there's a lot of parents, okay? And there's a tidal wave coming, and you want to be on the right side of this thing. So start looking out for the interests of these children. Stop listening to unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats who the parents can't even get on the phone. Okay, so this rests with y'all. Y'all need to vote on this stuff. Remove mandates, because that means, hey, I'm not getting your consent. We're going to do it our way, and we're going to step on you parents' rights, because you don't know better. We're going to talk to these people who can't make their mind up one day to the next, and they come up with, 10 days, 14 days, let's test them. And the testing kits have been proven not to be reliable. So this is a bunch of nonsense. You know, actually, the more people that come in contact with the virus, it has to run its course.
Mr. Cross, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Hold on. Can I have one more thing? Y'all handed me this last time. And it was from your lawyers. And I've known since the beginning of this that this is a veil that you're wearing. And there's a spell involved with it.
Sir, I'm sorry. Your
All right.
time for public forum is complete.